Yo, what up, people? So we're going live from Brazil. We're in Florianopolis still, but I've changed where I am at the minute, and the weather's not too good today. But it's all good. In the hood, look at my hair. So yeah, the reason why I'm coming live is because something happened over the last few days where this place where I am now currently, the food isn't as great to where I was before. But it made me realise that when we're desperate, we quite often make bad decisions in our lives. Not always, but quite often. So let me just tell you what it is. So, because I'm here and I was really desperate for some food, and there's not really much about in this place where I am now, when you're desperate, you sort of settle for anything. You reduce your standards and you go against your values sometimes in life, right? So I just want to use the food as the example. Because I was that fucking hungry, I go to a restaurant which I could see full well that it wasn't going to be that nice. It's going to be expensive for shit food. And I go there and I have this food and I wasn't satisfied. Yeah, it filled a hole. But I was like, I just spent a lot of money for shit when really I could have taken myself further away. I could have got a taxi. I could have done different things to eventually get what it was that I really wanted, you know. And it's the same in our lives. What do? We want something that bad, but because we don't want to say wait sometimes, or we want that instant gratification, or we don't know what we're doing, or we think it's too hard, or we don't have the funds, or we want to save a bit of money because we want to spend money elsewhere, for instance. It usually always comes back to money on these things as well. Or fear. We drop our standards. We drop our standards in life. We say, we're just going to go for this level. We're going to invest in this much of our health, of our happiness. Then we settle for something that doesn't meet what our soul really wants. And we settle for the shit. And then we just live unhappily. And we end up putting up with it. We drop our standards that much. It becomes our new norm. Like, never make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. And for me, I'll give you examples. I've done it many a times in my life. I thought, just because I'm desperate for it, I'm just going to settle for this. Like, never settle for something that you don't want in your life. And I've settled for many things before in the past. But I'll never do it again, I'll tell you. So, yeah, I've been desperate as well. So, again, back to desperation. When you're that desperate for something, just be very careful before making a decision. Never really make a massive decision in your life when you're either overly emotional, both happy and sad. When you're drunk is also not a good time to make big decisions. But yeah, again, emotions, like when you're in love. Sometimes when you're in love you can make god-awful decisions because you think you're in love and you think it's going to be a good thing. But just make sure your head is clear. Make sure you get it all written down on paper. Meditate on it for a few days. If you're making a big decision in your life, maybe meditate on it for a few days. But just don't give up your true values or your standards just because you are desperate. Because you have to give delayed gratification for anything that's worth having in life. Like, you need to wait a certain amount of time or invest a certain amount of money. Again, back to the desperation. I remember when crypto first came about, I put fucking thousands of pounds into NFTs and fucking crypto coins. I don't know where it is. Like, who knows where this shit is? Like, because I was desperate. I followed the trend, and I see everyone making all this money online when they probably really wasn't. And I was desperate. I was so desperate. Right, I'm going to invest in it. It's gone. Like, don't make these massive decisions in your life when you are desperate, because that's usually when you can make a decision that you're going to regret in the future. But also on the flip side, there's a flip side to everything in life. So sometimes in life you need to make a rush decision, or you need to make a decision in the moment, and sometimes you're not ready to make that decision. But just know it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. That's a Tony Robbins quote. And a friend of mine said to me that I just met online back in 2021. He met me online and he listened to my story and he said, like, you need to quit your job and you need to travel the world and tell your story all around the world. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And then he was like, when are you going to do it? When are you going to do it? I kept saying, I don't know. I'm not sure. He said, listen, are you committed? I was like, I don't know. I don't know what to do. And he goes, listen, it's in your moments of decision that your destiny is shaped. So you need to make a decision. Because if you don't make a decision now, you're going to be sat in your job doing the same old thing over and over again. You're going to be living your life pretty unhappy because it's not your true calling. It's not your true meaning. And you just want to go day by day, not really enjoying what you've been put on this earth to do. And I was like, fuck. So he goes, are you committed? And I had to make that split decision then. And sometimes it's about taking an educated guess. And sometimes it's also about listening to your intuition. Listen to what your intuition, what your gut feeling is saying. Because sometimes your intuition knows what your mind or your brain hasn't already figured out yet. So again, there's flip sides to both of it. Sometimes don't rush decisions. But on the other hand, sometimes you need to rush decisions, because if you don't make a certain decision on a certain thing in your life, you're just going to procrastinate for the rest of your life as well. So what I'm going to say to anyone is, number one, don't make permanent decisions based on temporary emotions. Number two, if there's a big decision in your life, maybe just give it a day, give it a day or two, and just think about it, journal it, write it down. Maybe ask someone that you really trust and that you respect. Maybe not a family member or a friend, because sometimes that isn't always the best thing to do. But someone that you look up to, ask them for their opinion, and then just go for it. Make a decision, because sometimes you have to take uncomfortable action. Sometimes you just have to go in with blind faith. Like, you don't know what's going to fucking happen along the journey, but you just need to have that belief that you're going to figure it out, because if you believe that you're going to figure things out along the way, that's what confidence is. Self-confidence is the belief in one's ability to figure shit out. So if you believe in yourself, you're willing to take uncomfortable action, you can literally do anything in your life. So when you're presented with, say, potential huge decisions, life-changing decisions, just ask yourself, what is the benefit of taking this uncomfortable action or this decision? What is the benefit for taking action on this decision? And what is the consequence of not taking action on this decision? So I hope someone's got something from this today. And like I say, I'm here in Brazil. Some of you know, some of you don't. And I really look forward to seeing you all on the next live. Thank you so much, and I'll speak soon.